All of this started out of a conversation.
Let them make you miss the bus,
Miss your
okay?
You never know what time or what environment where a great conversation could emerge from.
You think because of technology and social media, do you think that the actual conversations have been expanded? It's showtime. Listen, we want to thank each and every last one of you guys for tuning in for another segment of the James Zeri Show. I'm your host, James Zeri, and listen, man, we got a great show in store for you today, man. Listen, Anderson, man, what you got going on over there today, Anderson? What's the weather like, man?
As always, I'm super pumped and excited for this conversation. Useful conversation, intentional conversation. I mean, the weather over here is better than, I guess, in Canada. So I cannot complain.
Okay, man, listen, we got a great show in store for you guys tonight, man. It's like we got a Wendy Williams show here. We got a hot topic, man, and we're gonna go ahead. We ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna dive in like swish, okay?
Absolutely. And we're talking about intentional conversation. What does it mean? Well, first of all, I want you to think about your favorite brand. Think about your favorite company, your favorite product. Think about your favorite platform or any concept that you love. All of this started out of a conversation. People had conversation with an intention and things emerged out of it. They created great things. When minds collide, something always comes out of it. Intentional conversation might not make sense for everybody. So we have detected 3 elements that are characteristic to an intentional conversation. So first one, humility. And that's relevant to even regular conversation. Humility. Understanding that nobody has full understanding of the world, and we all still trying to figure out what does it mean to be alive in this society or in this world, in this day and age. So humility means just allowing each and every one of the people you interact with to have their perspective and understanding from their standpoint. Second point is critical thinking and sympathetical listening. I think that is self-explanatory, and we'll dive in a bit more into it. And the last one is openness. Being open to having conversations with strangers, with people all around the world, wherever they're from, whatever age group, having a conversation, knowing that something positive can come out of it. So openness. These are the 3 points that we have determined are characteristic to us. So yeah, James, how would you characterize an intentional conversation?
When you say characterize it, well, I think I would be more, prone to, just kind of looking at some of the things that I've done in the past for me to, have an intentional conversation. Usually in most cases, if I know that's what my target is, then, I'm going to already have it thought out. Okay, I'm going to already thought about the question or the problem that I see that needs to be solved. I'm going to already put some thought into how I'm going to actually approach that particular situation. And, and if you don't go into it, with, a purpose, trying to solve a particular problem or trying to get a particular question answered, sometimes the questions can kind of carry themselves on up the river. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you go all over the place. Yeah. So, true. So, going into a conversation with a purpose and with a goal in mind. When you look at, like I said in the beginning, when you look at any project, any concept that emerged, it all started out of a conversation, It's just people even randomly, hey, we come together and we're talking about a specific topic. Hey, have you noticed how the water bill is increasing? And have you noticed how this is getting out of ridiculous? And you're like, yeah, I actually noticed. And you go with someone else and they say, yeah, I noticed that too. And you start having a conversation, and you, at the end of the conversation, you ended up with a solution. You're like, we should do this and this and this. So this is what it is, an intentional conversation.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of you guys may not remember this, but man, we had something that's called like a two-way pager back in the day. You know, they were nice. They had the little flip phones on or whatever. And it was one of the hottest gadgets as far as tech is concerned that we had in a while. But we'd flip that two-way pager open, and then you could be way in a whole other city or a whole another state or another country, and we were able to have something that we call a two-way communication, meaning that it's the conversation between you and someone else, you know, and you both parties are having an opportunity to kind of like, you know, speak and share their thoughts, but it's actually in text. So, you know, when you think about, another way to be intentional, it's just a two-way conversation.
And you brought up something very important, that at the beginning, this technology was made for communication to be enhanced. Nowadays, that's why we felt it was important to have this conversation. Nowadays, the technology seems to be taking away communication, taking away skills from people to be able to have conversation. When we say being open, is that you never know what time or what environment where a great conversation could emerge from. But if you're not open, you're never. So being on the screen, when you go walk in the street and you're not allowing yourself to, hey, you never know. Somebody might have you waiting for a bus, and somebody is trying to have a conversation. I mean, obviously, you're not gonna just have conversation with everybody and everyone.
Yeah, don't let them make you miss. Don't let them make you miss the bus. Okay.
But if you would, what would be your point on that? On how, like, today's society and how we're not really, that conversation is becoming rare.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm gonna say that maybe it's rare. Okay, and this is something I want to ask for all the viewers and the followers, that are out there. I want to ask you guys a question. I want to ask you guys, do you feel like conversation is, being cut off, or conversation is kind of like rare, or it's not happening as much as it used to? Or do you think because of technology and social media, do you think that the actual conversations have been expanded? Now, whether you talk about whether the conversations are intentional or not, then, hey, I think talking about social media, I think that's a really, really good place, to start, because most of the conversations and the photos that you see on there, believe it or not, they are intentional. Okay.
Right, people coming in hot.
they coming in hot with their perspectives, and their relationships and their thoughts. They're coming in, and actually, to be honest with you, they're coming in quite clear and precise too, and letting you know exactly, who they are. So, I mean, you can look at it a couple different ways, but I want you guys to come in the comment section below and let me know. Do you think that conversations have been restricted or limited, or they're actually going away, or do you think because of social media, the conversations have actually advanced in giving you a dialect or a new approach on actually getting a more clear understanding or purpose, from hearing someone else's thoughts?
It's showtime.